Okay, I am live and ready to begin. My heart was on my sleeve a while ago. My heart was on my sleeve. I have been very heavily invested into this trial. Far too long, I have seen police officers get away with what I know is obvious murder. We've seen it. We see it all the time. Police getting away with obvious murder. When we call jurors over and over again, they see police officers as the people who should protect them and can't even associate guilt with police officers. So my heart was on my sleeve, as I believe many people watching this trial who was just as evidently very much invest into this, just like I was. Let's talk about Maxine Waters because something amazing happened in the courtroom today. I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. Um, but yesterday, Maxine Waters made a comment. She made a comment about Derek Chauvin's trial. She talked about how much, she will not accept anything but a guilty verdict. That Derek Chauvin was obviously guilty, and that's what she wanted. And, you know, the defense, Eric, what's his name? Eric Nelson. He, being a very good defense attorney as he was, did not allow that statement to slip. He was um, he took it up with the judge of the courtroom, and her statements almost caused a mistrial, and it was just unbelievable because what this would mean for people who are heavily invested, it would be crazy. We've been watching over and over again bad police officers get away with obvious crimes, murder. And now to see this happen as a result of a congresswoman, it's crazy, guys. We have to stop. And I'm saying this to elected officials. You really cannot do anything to sabotage this process. I'm sure that Maxine Waters, was doing her best as she could. She's not an attorney. I don't believe she is. She has no background in it. She was just speaking from her heart and soul. But we've got to try our best to make sure that we get a conviction because what we saw was evident. What we saw was evident. And in order, I can say it. Okay, I can say I need a conviction and there should be guilty, guilty, guilty because no one knows me. I mean, I'm not an elected official, but elected officials are people, and I know that they have heart and they have concerns and they have opinions, and they're very much affected by what I saw because I was affected by it, and anyone quite, of that matter who has a heart and a soul would be very much affected by that as well. But we have to make sure that this doesn't happen. It's crazy. When I saw Derek Chauvin in the court today, he just seemed like he wasn't sorry for anything. He just thought that, yeah, I'm going to get away with this. He was chill, very chill. He doesn't understand. He doesn't get it. He doesn't know what he's done. He doesn't think that it's wrong. He believes he's entitled, that he shouldn't go to prison. I saw him. Not one time did I hear a defense attorney mention how sad it was for George Floyd to have lost his life the way it did, because it was really, really sad and heartbreaking for the many people who saw that. When I look on Derek Chauvin's face, it was just blank and cold, like he was just heartless. The same kind of stick that he gave when the people were telling, get up, man. When they were saying, listen, you're killing this man, get up. When a man was begging for his life under his knees, when he called for his mom, it's the same blank stare today that he gave in court. Who could watch that video and not be moved by it? I heard that one of the juror, she was sick. I don't know if it's male or female, but was sick after watching it in one of the earlier days in the trial. I couldn't watch. I still haven't watched that video in full. I have to turn my head away at some point or another. Anyone with a heart would be absolutely disgusted. But to think that the man who did it, who caused Derek Chauvin's death, could sit there in court and not shed a tear, could sit there so blank and unemotional, was absolutely just surreal to me. It absolutely was surreal to me that Derek Chauvin, the man who had his knees on George Floyd's neck as he cried for his mom, could just sit. He's writing on his piece of paper, chatting with his attorney, and just be there, just like that, like nothing happens. Because if there's not a conviction, it's going to send a strong message to American police officers that they can continue to do what they're doing and there will be no consequences. I hear people talk about training. American police officers don't need training. They get thousands and thousands of hours to do so. If you do not hold a person accountable, they're going to do what they want to do when they want to do it because nothing will come out of it. It's human psychology. That's what happens. So we've got to make sure that we send this message to them. Qualified immunity, no. You're not qualified to take the life of someone else recklessly. If your life is in danger, yeah, I get it. Your life is in danger. If someone else's life is in danger, I get it. But how can a man be lying he's lying there on his stomach, face down, on the ground, in handcuffs, and you decide that you're going to take it to the top, the maximum force possible on a man who wasn't even moving? And then you talk about America as the greatest country in the world. No matter how many times people say this over and over again to themselves, it is not true. Because you can never have a system where people are being killed because of how they look. That man could have easily written a ticket for George Floyd, I'm told. It was over a $20 bill. But then you call other countries third world country. And let me tell you something about my third world country that I'm from. Jamaica. And I'm not saying that Jamaica is perfect, because it's not. It's the sixth most dangerous country in the world. It's not perfect. We do have police brutality. It's not perfect. But let me tell you this, I would never have to worry that my Black son, if I had one, would be unsafe. Because when he goes into his vehicle, if a police stops him, he's just gonna die. Because police officers think that he's reaching for a weapon. It's just not the reality here. It just isn't. Because we do have independent commission who investigates. We don't allow police officers to investigate themselves. Police officers here, they don't have what it's called. They don't have tasers. They don't. They only have guns and batons. That's all they have. But you never see something like this happen. A police officer in Jamaica is not told to shoot and kill because someone kicks you, because we believe in the sanctity of life. So when you talk about America being the greatest country in the world, there needs to be a re-examination of your ignorance, because it's not. And I love America. It is one of my favorite countries. I believe in the Constitution, and I believe in what it stands for. And when I saw the American flag, I knew what it represented. But that whole flag has been smeared so many times by President Trump, by people on the far right, using it to support racism. That flag don't mean the same anymore. And it's sad. And it's bad. And it's horrible that a country that should have been the greatest country in the world, with the biggest economy, A country that believes in God is doing all of this. And it's crazy. You know what I always say? There needs to be sanction on America. People, countries need to stop doing business with America until it stops killing its people. Because you can't tell me that police officers are doing it. America allows it to happen, and that is why it's happening. You cannot allow police officers to choose the kind of force that they want to use and when they want to use it. You cannot offer qualified immunity to people because they're police officers, because anyone can go put on a police officer outfit. It doesn't say anything about the person, not as far as we can tell, because they're good police officers and they're bad police officers. And many, many times we don't get to see the blatant evidence like what we saw, because if that 17-year-old at the time did not take the video, Derek Chauvin would have gotten away free, scotch free. America, you need to examine yourself for what it's worth. Look deep into your heart and see where you're going wrong. Stop talking about you're the greatest country in the world, because quite frankly, it's not. Not anymore. It's getting worse. And I hope that Derek Chauvin, is found guilty, because he's obviously guilty. And I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that further in this week. I have to go, and I have to end abruptly because I have a student to teach now. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll be talking about this again soon.